What's up, fellow fantasy living friends? Josh here with RSMP Tabletop, and I'm beyond excited because I finally have some stuff built, painted, and ready to play. Warhammer is actually pretty new to me. I started off playing Magic the Gathering growing up. I remember being a little kid and my buddy Chris Grabowski taught me how to play on my bedroom floor, and the first time he slammed down an 8-4 Crash of Rhinos, it kind of hooked me and I fell in love with that game. Didn't even have any intentions to start off playing Warhammer. I just thought it was kind of cool and I love cinematography and filmmaking, so I went down to a few places just to kind of shoot around and see what it entailed. I do remember Warhammer being a thing growing up, but like I said, I was kind of playing Magic and I was into sports and some other things, so I just never really got into Warhammer itself. I just thought that the characters themselves were so awesome, well detailed. There was so much character, dynamic, and story that were built into them. And then I thought the concept of like, well, you get to kind of cut these out, build them, pose them the way you want, and then essentially make them look the way you want. You know, you choose the weapons that you want to use, and that matters in game. And I just thought that was really cool. So I kind of wanted to give it a shot. And I'll be honest, the thing that really caught me off guard that I was not expecting is the painting is really what I fell in love with. Like, as you can tell, I'm not a good painter at all, but I have ADHD. My brain races a million miles an hour, and I don't do a lot of things that like slow me down and work on my fine motor skills and, you know, just force me to be calm. But when I paint, it's kind of like power washing. It's just like you feel good about it. You know, you get that instant gratification, and whether you're good at it or not, like every time you apply a new coat of paint, like you're making your thing better. And, you know, not only are you making a model better, but then you get to play with it. And I think you're more vested into the pieces because they do take you a long time to build. So I didn't think I was going to care about the hobby building, painting aspect of it, but to be honest, I really think it's one of the best parts of the craft itself. Okay, so it's no lie. When you think about getting into Warhammer, where do you even start? Do you start with lore? Do you start with YouTube videos? Do you start with playing, building an army? I mean, it's a vast world. There's a lot going on, and I was overwhelmed at first too. The best advice I can give you, and again, I'm nobody and I should not be giving advice in Warhammer, but people that play this game love this game, and they love it for a reason. It's a good game. It's really in depth. You know, there's a lot of sustenance to it, and I think that's why people enjoy playing it. Find friends that play this game. You probably think people don't play Warhammer, but if you start asking around, you'd be surprised at who actually plays this game. But it doesn't matter what you have. If you have any pieces or no pieces at all, I'd recommend going down to your local game store because they have, most likely your local game store will have pieces there that you can use and try out. And if not, there's another player that's sitting at a table looking for somebody to play with, and they'd love to show you the game. So honestly, walk into your LGS and check it out. As I kind of mentioned before, I think one of the things that makes this hobby game so awesome is it's just so much better with people. You know, when you can see the way that your buddy painted something, you guys can talk about it, laugh and joke about it. You know, this game really comes down to dice rolling, and it's a lot of variance. And yeah, you're trying to play your odds as high as you can, but I like the thematics and the story to it. Like, I don't care if I win or lose when I play. For me, it's about the journey and just kind of watching the story unfold. I mean, yeah, it's fun because you have influence and you can manipulate and move the characters, and, you know, it even determines on, you know, what weapons you gave them before the game starts. You know, that certainly affects the game, but to me, I think it's just kind of something that organically plays out in front of you, and, you know, you kind of nudge and push your things in certain ways, but it's just kind of thematically like an interesting thing to watch and experience. The guys over at Off the Wall Gaming, once I posted my first video, they saw what I was doing and they reached out and they were like, hey, we want you to try Necromunda. It's really cool. It's like this story-driven, narrative-based game. You transfer, you know, whatever happens in one game transfers over to the next week, and you can kind of build off each other, good or bad. And I thought that was an interesting concept because, again, for me, I really do like the story and, you know, just the thematics to the game itself. So I went down and they set up a bunch of stuff in front of me and they said, go ahead, pick your gang. And I found the Escher gang, and I just thought it was really cool. You know, just a bunch of badass chicks with some dope weapons and stuff. And I liked the way they posed. I liked the way they stood. I liked the way their weapons looked. And I decided to give this a try. So my introduction into Warhammer, the first thing that I actually tried was Necromunda. So these were the first things that I was able to build and paint and try out. And I'll be honest, it was scary when I first got into it. Like, you know, you open the box, you see this sprue, so it's just all these plastic parts, and the instructions are not very good that they give you. The sprues are not labeled all that great, but what I will say is don't worry about that because there's a million people that do builds or have, you know, other things that can help you online. So jump on YouTube and there's people that will show you exactly what to cut out, you know, all those things there. Once you get past the scariness of trying to like cut things out and build it and hope you don't mess it up. Then you start talking about list building and like getting your characters, you know, certain points and the restrictions and all the stuff that they need to meet and match. And again, that's very daunting and overwhelming. The thing that I did when I first started is I just tried to do like box stock, essentially. Necromunda was a little bit different because you have to like build your point system out. But for the most part, the rest of the stuff that I built, I really just tried to do box stock because I'm not good enough at the game now where it's gonna matter. It's not gonna matter if I swap out one weapon, the one that's on there. It's not gonna make me win or lose a game. So for me, I didn't care. I wanted something that was simple. I wanted the instructions and the booklets to line up really to what I was playing with and doing and had in front of me. So I tried to go box stock. I'm not good enough to go play tournaments. Like, I'm only gonna play with my friends and my family right now, and maybe I'll end up at a game store, but all my experiences at game stores, like, nobody's gonna give you a hard time. Like, if you need to proxy something out or say this is actually this, like, if you're playing for fun, like, that's exactly what it is. And that's what I love about this hobby. It's like people are really understanding, and like this isn't like a gotcha game, you know. It's not something that's designed to be like malicious. Like, it's something that's designed that, you know, you play together, you talk about, you brag about, you bring up your strategies. And I just thought that was actually a really cool concept. Like I said, Necromunda was a lot of fun. These pieces looked absolutely terrible when I first started out, and as I've been getting better with painting, I've been kind of adding and making them better. And that's actually what I really like about painting. You know, you can start off being terrible, and as long as you don't put the paint on really thick and drown out all the details, it's kind of easy to go back and just keep making things better, which is actually pretty exciting. It's a lot of fun. When it comes to the painting, the only thing that I really stuck with is the zenithal priming method. I think it's called a couple different things, but essentially you spray them down, you build the piece that you want, and then you prime it with a black primer. So you spray everything in black. Once it's completely blacked out, then you go at a 45-degree angle, like the way light would hit it, and you spray white primer down. This leaves black grooves and like spots where the shadow or shade would be from where the sun comes down, and it just adds a little bit more dynamic range to the pieces. If you just do that, you use speed paints and then you use like a dry brush, with very minimal painting things, I think you can get pretty good results. I did try an airbrush for the first time. I used it for the Tyranids. I only used it for a couple parts of their application because I wanted to try it and I wanted to see what it was about, and I really did enjoy it. I think if you're batch painting, there's a lot of things that the airbrush can do that's phenomenal. You absolutely don't need it. I bought that on Amazon. It was on sale. I think I paid like $89 for it, and it came with an airbrush and some stuff like that, and I literally just put the Army Painter speed paint right into it and used it that way. But that's it. Walk into your LGS, find a couple paints that look good to you, try them out. If they seem a little too thick, add a little bit of water, and just sit down and try. You know, don't be afraid. There's nothing that you can really do or destroy or mess up that bad. You could always cut these up and re-glue them, re-sand them, use things like Milliput to help shape them or form them into something newer, even better. So I would say dive in head first and give this hobby a shot, because I'll be honest, like I said, a year ago I had no interest in even doing this, and now I'm sitting here with all this in front of me and I'm just really excited and I can't wait to play. So this will wrap up the episode on the building and the painting experience, and the next episode will probably focus on playing and more aspects of the game itself. So I hope you subscribe, like, comment, and share, and until next time, stay safe.